if you look at just 2012 to 2022, over the 10-year span, and we take just one number, I mean, there's a larger categorization of crimes against women, but if you just look at the number of rape incidents in Delhi, they've doubled in the last 10 years.
Let's move to the other thing, which is women's safety. I think there again, if you could lay out, that's been a perennial thing for a very, very long time. And all of us, when we were studying, what's the 3-4 main or the macro strategy there and the initiatives that the Delhi government is taking and you've been a part of?
No, so first let me state that, one of the things that is really heart-wrenching for me to see even somebody within the government in Delhi is the fact that on the larger scale, Delhi, I mean, the larger reality is that Delhi does continue to remain a little, an unsafe city for women. And again, I don't need to sugarcoat anything because the numbers say it all. And, if you look at just 2012 to 2022, over the 10-year span, and we take just one number, I mean, there's a larger categorization of crimes against women, but if you just look at the number of rape incidents in Delhi, they've doubled in the last 10 years. Okay, so yes, I'll save some of the things that we are doing, but there is a larger problem at stake. And when it comes to crimes against women, there is an infrastructure response that you can give to the problem, and then there's a law and order. At the end of the day, obviously, it's crimes against women, right? And women's safety, or, whenever that comes to safety and security, there's a huge law and order. And I think one of the things that your viewers or your listeners will need, or some of them may already know, that Delhi has multiple power centers. So one thing that does not come under the domain of Delhi government, the elected chief minister, is law and order. Delhi police reports to the central government.
Yeah. I'm interrupting you, Jasmine. You talked about infrastructure and law and order. Yeah. But is there a social kind of part to it also, which requires, of course, society is what it is, but there's a role that the government has to play there as well?
No, it is. But I would say that Delhi, in that sense, is a microcosm of India, right? Delhi should not be, 38% of all crimes against women reported in India, in all the metropolitan cities, top 20 metropolitan cities are in Delhi alone.
Yeah.
It's a pretty shocking statistic if you ask me. Delhi, if you look at it, Delhi, it's not that people from Delhi come from Mars. बाकी सारे लोग देश भर में कहाँ से? नहीं तो दिल्ली, देश से ही तो दिल्ली बना है.
बिल्कुल.
तो see, probably yes, because Delhi is a huge economic magnet. There are migrants from all over the country, but I don't think that's true for every other city, every mega city. There are problems which Delhi needs to solve for. I can tell you some of the interventions, because on the infrastructure side, because the biggest lever as an elected government which does not have law and order machinery in its hand, and we can come to solutions a little later on, even on that front. But as far as the infra issues are concerned, we realize that, there's still a few things that we can, and we needed to be very clear that as a responsible government, we are doing everything that we possibly can. First and foremost, we made sure that we invest in CCTV cameras. Just this idea that you are under surveillance, you cannot do anything and expect that you will not be caught, should not be there. And Delhi government has invested massively in CCTVs on public streets. Over the last, we started with a major initiative around 2017-18. As on date, there are 2.75 lakh CCTV cameras on Delhi's public streets. Another, I think, 1.25 lakh cameras are going to be installed. So total plan for around 4 lakh cameras. But even with the number of CCTV cameras in streets today, Delhi today has the highest, and Forbes did a ranking of CCTV cameras on streets across the world. Delhi is today number 1 in terms of the surveillance infrastructure that the government has installed. We are at 1800 cameras per square mile. After that, London comes at 1100. The next Indian city is Chennai at 600 cameras per square mile. So that's number 1. Second, we realize is that, what are the other reasons for feeling unsafe? And dark spots is another big issue that, with the way that Delhi is expanding and, residential townships forming in every part of the corner of the city. So we worked together with this organization, Safety Pin, right? And they do surveys on dark spots. And I think there was a count of around 7,800 dark spots in Delhi back in 2016. And Delhi government...
How do you define a dark spot, just technically?
No, so dark spot is where there is no public street light infrastructure in a certain span of an area. I think 50 or 100 meters. That's how they define it. And I mean in regular layman language, it's obviously when you're walking in a street with no street light, you feel unsafe, right? So no passageway which is public, and people have to travel, should there be a dark spots. That is the idea. So over the last, again, 5-6 years, more than 2.1 lakh street lights have been installed in Delhi. The latest figure of dark spots is around 1,400. Government has just announced the final stage of the streetlights initiative. Around 70,000 streetlights are going to be installed in this year itself. So we are moving towards becoming a zero dark spots city. The third intervention that Delhi has made is in terms of public buses. Now we have to, and many people who live in Delhi realize, if you were a girl, if you have to travel on DTC bus, you always think twice, because there are incidents that everybody has memories, and I have had, family members who talk about those days. So we realize that, at least these are the spaces we can control. We may not have law and order machinery outside. So
marshals.
Yes, absolutely, marshals. So and Delhi is the, ये इकलौती सरकार है जिसने ये इन्वेस्टमेंट डिसीजन लिया है कि हर बस में, हर शिफ्ट में एक बस मार्शल रहेगा, only from the point of view of women's safety. Because if, let's say, there is an incident, you are feeling unsafe, who will you ask? You will ask your fellow passengers, but people don't want to, right? But obviously, if there is a वर्दी में कोई बस मार्शल वहाँ पे बैठा है या खड़ा है, you will go and at least seek help. And that's been, we've done surveys, we've asked anecdotally also, that women, the sense of safety and security increased a lot after 13,000 bus marshals have been deployed. Today, our entire bus fleet of 7,400 buses has CCTVs inside the buses. All of them with live feed going to a central command center. So, ये infrastructure investments हुए हैं.
But other bus marshals are private buses may also you put?
No. These are all bus.
No, I'm saying 7,000.
Because in two shifts.
Two shifts. Okay.
2 shifts. So, close to 13,000, 14,000 bus marshals would be there. But one thing I'm going to talk about over here is the free bus rides for women. And there's a larger angle of women empowerment over there, that why we felt that, really for women to access job opportunities or education opportunities, safe public transport, but also free public transport is a huge enabler. But there is this, amongst people who work in and experts who work on women's safety, they say there is safety in numbers. The more the women travel, the more you are in public spaces, there is lesser, I would say, courage that others would have to do wrong, right? Yeah. And it's very interesting that after Delhi introduced free bus travel, from around the ridership of women in our buses used to be around 25%. Today it is 35%. And what does it mean? It means that earlier around 10 lakh women were, total ridership of Delhi DTC and cluster buses is around 40 lakh per day. तो 10 लाख महिलाएं पहले ट्रैवल करती थी, आज ये 14 लाख महिलाएं. 4 lakh women are traveling more in Delhi's buses because of the free bus. And the reason is this, because see, at the end of the day, as a government, and this is where being accountable, being a popularly elected government, you always have your ears to the ground. And therefore, if there is any new idea that we get, these are matters where there is immense political will. अगर कहीं पे भी किसी को लगता है कि नहीं ये यहाँ पे अच्छा हो रहा है, we'll be very happy to adopt it. But levers, there are certain levers that we are not able to figure how do we improve on it. And I'll give you this because I gave you a depressing statistic at the beginning that rapes in Delhi have doubled over the last 10 years. If you look at the overall classification of crimes against women, they are increasing 15% year on year. That's been the trend for the last 2 years.
This is national or this?
No, Delhi. मैं केवल दिल्ली की बात कर रहा हूँ. And within that, if you look at, so crimes against women are increasing 15% year on year. Guess the conviction rate of the crimes against women. It's less than 5%. Less than 5%. These are crimes. This is data of 2019. Then 2020, it was 4%. So somewhere you figure that, at the end of the day, this larger question, and because I think Delhi also is going through this phase where this question of should there be a popular and a elected government in Delhi, I think these are the ramifications that you have, that Delhi police doesn't have a sense of accountability towards the public of Delhi. It's accountable towards the central government. Even earlier, back in 2013 and 14, we used to have something called Thana level committees, which would be a forum where the local elected representative, the SHO of the Thana, the RWAs would all come, and there would be a dialogue and there'd be some interventions based on that. All of that has really dissolved. And I think somewhere I feel that a link, Delhi police or any institution in a democracy, if there is no popular pressure, if there is no accountability, that is why you see instances like, incidents doubling over 10 years, conviction rates. These are pathetic. Any police force in the world, it's a shameful figure. And I think somewhere we really need to sort of ask the right questions also when we talk about this.